Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone this morning? Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Sue. How are you today? So good, I hope. I have lots to talk about today. I know, big surprise. I told you my report card always said a little too chatty, or she talks too much. And now none of you would find that unusual, would you? How is Oklahoma this morning? Arizona is sunshiny, a little bit of clouds, but mostly blue skies. I think we're going to be about 70 today, if I'm remembering correctly. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Good morning, Keely. So I have so much to blab about today. One thing I wanted to talk about is the thing that I put in the newsletter. Did everybody open the newsletter? Because in the newsletter, I put some art journaling bits and bobs. So I wanted to show you what I was talking about. Hey, Peggy. So in the newsletter, I had talked about, let's see. Remember last week I said, look at this page. Good morning, Nanette. Remember we had done this page. I had done this page before, and then here we go. This page we had done in class, and I said, if you use a Sharpie, you're going to get this. Don't throw it away. Don't rip it out. We're going to make something with that. So the more I was, remember I told you, the more you play with an idea, the more things start to come to you. So, so I had this one, and then I had these two pages that I knew I wanted to play with. So I made multiple pages with the scribbly marker technique. So please do that. Please be sure to play with those techniques multiple times, because different things will come to you. So I did this page, and it was all kind of greens, and so I thought, I want to do something foliagey. But then I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to put a piece of deli paper behind, there you can see exactly where it was, behind my page, because I didn't want the black to get on here. Now, I mean, you know, it could have, and it would have been kind of fun, but I was thinking, because eventually I want to do some more jelly plate printing, and I thought, what a cool, you know, as a art journaler, you're always looking for a fascinating first layer. You're always looking for a fascinating first layer. So that's why we are drawn to make wordsmith art, because our dictionary is our first layer. Bible journaling, our Bible page is our first layer, right? We want to build upon the first layer. So I thought, shut up, look how brilliant this is. So I'm thinking that you should try this. Put a piece of, if you don't have deli paper, then put a piece of copy paper behind there, and do the same thing with copy paper, right? And I'm thinking eventually so we're going to keep the other pages in here, right? But eventually when we get to our jelly plate printing, we're going to pull these pages out, and this will be this will be a base for jelly plate printing too, But the cool thing about the pages that are in the book is that you've got 2 layers, right? You've got the graph paper or your lined paper, and then the transfer of the Sharpie. So always be thinking about your first layer. I think that's why we like junk mail, right? Like security envelopes, because it's a perfect first layer, right? Okay, so I had started to, you know what? I don't know if parchment paper would work. I don't know. Give it a try. Do you know what I mean? All you can do is try. I've never done it with parchment paper, but that doesn't mean that I won't try. I did want to show you, so here's another version that I did. So I think I have like 5 scribbly pages in here to play with. Remember this one, I wanted to use this sticker. And so I did, I was playing around. It doesn't work. Oh, so then I would just use copy paper. I would just use copy paper, Nanette. Good morning, Carol. So for this page, I had drawn my flowers and I had colored my background in with brown because I wanted to stick with the colors of this. This sticker was my muse, was my inspiration point of this background, right? Because copy paper, I think copy paper does some of the best jelly plate printing ever. So anyway, I had this background and I was just sitting watching TV one night and I thought, oh, I'm going to play with my white gel pen and I'm just going to start making some circles, right? But I want the circles to kind of fade, right? I want them to be dense up here and then fade, 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 fade. So it's a work in progress, but that brings me to today's lesson. Today's lesson is all about mark making. And so what we're going to do is get your book out and turn to some blank pages. I don't care where it is in your book. Turn to 2 blank pages. And then I want you to get your watercolors and a big cup of water and a brush. I'm going to use a flat this morning because that's going to give me a nice stripe because we're going to just start painting some stripes. Okay, so we're going to fill both pages with stripes. So I'm going to get my brush wet. And I'm going to start with, you know what, I think I'm going to activate some paints first. So I'm trying to use all the colors. So let's do some pinks. So this is, I'm telling you, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to get our brush loaded up with paint. And then we're just going to paint a stripe. I like to go over it a couple of times so I have nice, rich colors. But you do you. If you want them light, you go right ahead. Right? So just pick some colors. It doesn't really matter what colors you pick. Just want them to be appealing to you. This one is a little bit too light, so that tells me that I need brighter colors. So let's get some green. I'm gonna pick blue. I don't know. There. That yellow is pretty. Just fill your whole pages with stripes. Remember, you're just going to work that water into your paint. So you get a really nice, it's activated, right? And then we are going to start to activate our pages. Let's see, now we got this green. Let's try that. What else do I have? Blue. That's kind of pretty. And if the colors mix, that's okay too. Right? Oh, look at that. Isn't that brilliant blue? Let's do something purpley. Get some water going here. I still have a little bit of blue on my brush. So we're kind of getting a combo, but that doesn't matter. I think I can fit one last stripe. I'll put some orange. Oh, look at that, it's pretty. Okay, so we filled this page. So Barbara, this is all of my Prima paint palettes put into one giant palette. Because I found myself, my friend Tessa and I had this conversation about, we found ourselves, we kept using the same colors, but we have all these colors, right? And so we found, Tessa actually found this palette and then made this chart, this swatch chart for all of my Primas, which I still haven't painted yet, and then listed them by palettes on the back here and by name. And she said she would share that. I think we're going to share it in the private Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott Facebook group. That's the only place she can share a file. And so it's coming. It's coming. Okay, so now once you fill this page, I want you to flip your book. Well, you can or you don't have to, but I'm going to flip my book and I'm going to fill this page with stripes also. Everybody take a drink. Okay, and so this page can be the same colors or you can change colors, whatever you want. Pick this orange. Look at that one. That's pretty, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Green. This is kind of a funny yellowy green. I will say I'm so excited about this because it is making me play with way more. My paints are all, Laura, my paints are all, these are all Prima marketing. I think they're called Art Philosophy now, but it's still under Prima marketing. And it's all of their palettes. I think I have every one. Anyway, I can put a link in my Amazon store on my website. But you know, it's sadly, can I tell you, these are not all the watercolors I have. I have so many watercolors. But for this morning, this is what we're doing. Let's do a bright yellow, like kind of a lemony yellow. That's pretty. Let's do something red. We haven't done red yet. And I love that we're doing it in this assignment that that we're art journaling in this composition book for the year, because we have a first layer. Whether you're using a graph composition book or a lined composition book, you've got a first layer. So we are well on our way to something cool. They are really vibrant colors. I will say, and they're decently priced for pretty, you know, I have all manner of watercolors. I have Crayolas, washables, all the way to Schminky, which are high end. I know, but here's the thing. I have the vintage ones too, Sue. And you know what? It was embarrassing when we were taking them apart and putting them in the palette. I saw exactly what I used and didn't use. And that vintage pastels I hardly ever used it. But now I'm totally using it. Do you know what I mean? If it's all in one thing, then I don't, I'm just not a pastel-y person, and I don't know why I bought it. Who knows? I'm sure we all have things like that, don't we? Where we're like, why'd you buy that? What were you thinking? Okay, so to join the private group, you're going to go to Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott, and you're going to answer the questions, and then I'll let you in, and then you'll just have yourselves a time. Because I'm telling you, we have the kindest, creative, encouraging, creative group you'll ever. I'm telling you, everyone is so kind and encouraging and super creative, and we just have ourselves a time. And oh, you know what? I was gonna. That's so funny. That's so funny, Vicky, because mine is red and pink. That I kind of use a lot. Mostly pink, and I don't know why. I just like pink, I guess. Let's see. But it is fun to like play with some new colors and, you know, just, ugh, I don't love that one, but I've kind of already committed. That's all right. What was I saying? What was I just talking about? Now I don't remember. It'll come back. It'll come back eventually. Okay. Good morning, Allison. How are you? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. So we are today in well, you don't even need to admit that you're using your granddaughter's watercolors. You can use whatever watercolors you have. I told you I have all of them. I have all of them. So I'm going to, seriously, if I do have this pack of, look at this. This is Crayola. I think it's the washables. I'm telling you, the colors are brilliant. The colors are brilliant. So if this is how much money is in your budget, then please use that. I don't ever want somebody to feel like they can't make art because of the supplies that they have. I don't ever, seriously, that's why I'm doing this in a composition book, right? I want everybody to be able to be creative. So the private group, Laura, is Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott. Absolutely. Use what you've got. So I'm just drying mine. Is everyone done with their stripes? Good morning, Randy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I'm not a pastel person either, but I told myself that I'm going to branch out this year and use all the colors because I love brights. Of course you did, Tammy. Tammy is one of my dearest friends, but seriously, we could not be more opposite in so many ways. She is very precise, and I am very not. But we still adore each other, so it works out well. Okay, so is everyone... Good morning, Sherry! Okay. So it's nice and wrinkly, just the way I like it. Oh, by the way, Tammy has chosen our first book for book club, and we are going to be reading Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. Okay, so now I have my stripes, right? So we are going to be creating, oh, it's still a little wet over here in the corner. We are going to be creating a mark making catalog. Right? Okay. It is a good book, isn't it? So, Allison, Tam, will you put a link for the book club, please? Please. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. I am just fascinated with mark making. Okay, Tam, we will. So this is what we're going to do with all these stripes. Mark making is such a big part of art journaling and art in general. Mark making is huge. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fill each of these. Yay, Laura! I will put you in right after class. We're going to fill each of these stripes with different mark making images. So I've started this set right here, right? So I have some circles. I love circles. I have some vertical stripes and horizontal stripes, and I'm going to fill these all up, because here's what happens. When you're painting something, or when you're creating an art journal and you know you need some mark making, sometimes you draw a blank, right? So if we have this catalog right here in our art journals, you just have to flip a couple pages and you can get right back. You can get right to your reference file. Remember I told you in art school, we always had reference files. We had reference files of color combinations or lettering styles or just you name it, right? So this is our reference file for mark making. So mark making is exactly what it sounds like. It is marks that you make in your art. Sometimes as a filler, sometimes as just a pocket of visual interest. So I have circles, so I'm just going to fill this whole stripe with circles, circle, circle, circle. And it's quite meditative, right? And then this one, I just drew a line and then an oval and then a line and an oval. And what I'm going to do with this mark making is I'm going to kind of create it. I'm going to thicken my lines and then have it kind of, what's the word I want to use? I don't know, like have it kind of surround one end of my oval, right? So it just kind of has a little bit more organic vibe, right? So don't hurry. And this doesn't have to be done today. Just work on it during today's session. And then if you're feeling like you think of something else, then by all means, grab your art journal and fill it in. I will say that this art journal kind of travels around my house with me. If I'm watching TV, I just kind of take it with me and a pen. Because I have all kinds of, remember an art journal is all about working out ideas. So I painted these stripes the other day, and then I just painted these stripes today. I want to fill all of them with mark making. Like just as I think of something, I'm going to fill it. So this is an easy one, just crosses or plus sign, right? Here's X's. Here, I kind of dig these kind of round squares. So I just draw them like that. And then I draw one in the side of it. There we go. Right? This one is just long horizontal stripy lines, and I want them kind of funky and kind of sorry, I need to move those paintbrushes. They are cramping my style this morning, right? So I'm just long horizontally lines. And I like them a little bit wavy and wonky, right? So I don't want them to be perfect. But this is a great mark making mark, for lack of a better word, for fill, and it's going to give you some beautiful texture, right? So let's see, what else do I have? I have these kind of rainbow arc lines. That's kind of a fun one to fill. Right? And they can vary in size. You can have little ones, you can have big ones. Just kind of lose yourself in the process of just drawing on them, you know? So like I said, just fill all these stripes with mark making. So I am gonna do some like wavy lines. I did this on another project. Let's see if I have that. I think I do. So then I'm just going to right? I love filling spaces with this mark making right here. It just makes me happy. And I'll show you an example. One of my art journals where I did that. I know it's kind of at the beginning of this one, just a sec. Not this one. I thought for sure it was. Maybe it's this one. Oh, do you remember this from Inspire Your Heart with Art? That was so fun. I'm just all about mark making. It just makes me so happy. Look at this. Here's some nice mark making here. Here's some here. Here. It's just a technique that just helps you. Nope. Helps you. Oh, here it is. Duh. Is it this one? No. Siri, this is the problem. I have way too many art journals. Anyway. Oh, good. I'm so glad it's meditative to you. Okay, I do want to talk about, so when you put something out in the universe, like mark making, it's just in your consciousness, right? And I've been doing mark making in my art forever and a day. But when you put it out there, you kind of stumble upon things, right? Just like if somebody gets a new car, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere, right? So I was really talking to myself about mark making and how I could incorporate it in all of these classes that I teach. And I came across this girl whose name is Crafty Hope on Instagram. And she is the one who created a mark making catalog. And I was like, oh, that is a brilliant idea. So I was like, I could do my own version of that, right? And then a while ago, I subscribed to a new art magazine, and it's amazing. And it's called Strawberry Moon. So Strawberry Moon is, I'm telling you, it's the most luscious. It's so, it is just printed on the most beautiful paper. It is so well done, and it is all art journaling. Juicy reflections on art journaling. And as a matter of fact, in this edition, which is the first edition, there is an article all about mark making. I'm telling you, it's crazy how the universe works. But anyway, so Janessa Durrani, I will put a link to, it's, I think, let me see. I will put a link. I think if you just Googled Strawberry Moon, so they have a print version and a digital version. And it is so beautifully laid out and so... Oh, Cindy, I'm so glad. You're gonna love it. It is so beautiful. So one cool thing about this magazine is if you get both, you have the option to get both, and that's what I did. You can get both the digital and the print version. And so if you just do, let's see, strawberrymoon.art. Try that, Tammy. Anyway, if you get the digital version and the print version, you'll see that within the pages, there are beautiful pieces of art. Look at this. Beautiful pieces of art that you can tear out and use in your own art. But, oh, look at this. Tags, strawberries. Look at there's, oh, come on. You know I love these layers and layers and layers. Anyway, if you have the print version and you do not want to tear apart your magazine, there's a digital version that you can just print yourself. How brilliant is that? Anyway, so let's talk about the mark making a little bit. She talks about how she is an art journaler, but everything is pretty cohesive that she creates, right? And that she knew she wanted to push herself a little bit because everything felt a little bit flat. And so she started to gather up her bits and pieces, you know, like privacy envelopes, bits and pieces of leftover scrapbook paper from other projects, shopping bags, tags, anything, you know how we are. You know how we are. Seriously, this came in this beautiful recycled envelope, and this sticker was sealing it, and you know, I was like, oh, I'm totally, I gotta put that in my art journal. So I peeled it off as carefully as I could, and now it's just sitting here on my Archon stand waiting for me to figure out something to, where I want to put it in my, remember I told you I like to sticker bomb the insides of my art journals. Anyway, what she talked about was, remember we talked about don't waste color, right? So if you're painting something and you have some leftover color, remember I said, stick it in your art journal. Paint it, just slap it down in your art journal, or have a stack of bits and bobs that you want to grow, right? And you can begin painting on those, right? So that's what she did. She has these little bits and pieces that are just kind of sitting in a file box beside her. And then if she has some extra green paint, she will, whether it's watercolor or acrylics, whatever, she will use those bits and bobs to grow her bits and bobs, right? Anyway, she talks about how, look at this. So this is how it started, right? She didn't have a junk journal, so she just had a journal like us with 2 blank pages. And so she created a background with, remember we talked about, that was in Art Alchemy, about using our writing as another layer of art journaling, and ways to write in ways that people can't read it. And then she did these pink blobs, and then look at all these bits and bobs that she's been collecting. So some of them look like a picture out of a magazine or something that she kind of created. And then look at this. So some of it she stitched on, some of it she made flaps as she was laying it out. She knew she wanted some to be flaps that flap down from the top and flaps that opened up from the side. And so she's got some flaps that are kind of a tip in with washi tape. And then here's the final page, right? So do you see she has this flap that opens to the side, this big pink daisy. And then she has this flap that flaps up and flaps down. You can see the washi tape right there. And then once she kind of had her layout, she started to use her mark making to bring it all together. And shut up, look at this beautiful piece right here. Gorgeousness, gorgeousness. Anyway, Strawberry Moon. I highly recommend it. If you can afford it, I highly recommend it. If it's out of your price range, you might look at just getting the digital version. It's less expensive. So what was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about? That was also in this magazine, so there's the mark making article, but also, shut up, all the black waterproof pens. So there's a whole article, and Suzanne Early did a whole study about all the black pens, how to care for them, what kind of paper you draw on. And look at this. So she did who the manufacturer is, what the approximate price is, and then her comments, the point size, the size pictured, and the sizes available for all of these pens, all of these pens, all of these pens. Seriously, it's so, I'm telling you, for me, it's worth every penny. But you know, this is my business, right? So now that's gonna kill me. Where did I do that page that I had gotten it out this morning so that I could show you. Oh well. Anyway, let's get back to our mark making. I'm telling you, Keels, it's so cool. So you can, oh, I know, I was going to say, you can also do mark making with a white gel pen if your color is light, right? So I was thinking about this. And then here. You just want a reference point so that you can go, this would be the perfect mark making for that image, or this would be the perfect fill. Do you know what I mean? And remember, you can turn that book. You can, it's your book. You can do whatever you want. Just know that we have something coming up where we're going to use all of the mark making. Just going to continue to fill those stripes, those colorful stripes, with mark making. Oh, I want to finish this one, so I think I'm going to get a bigger pen out to make my dots. You'll be so happy. You'll be so happy, Laura. It's so beautiful. And here's the cool thing. Here's the cool thing. I just keep saying, here's the cool thing. It's so full of cool things. They, like everything, they're so conscious about their footprint because it is a print magazine. It's printed on environmentally certified and recycled papers from sustained sources. The ink is vegetable-based, and the printer recycles all of their waste products. As the magazine grows, we will continue to evaluate options to further limit our impact on the environment. Gosh, don't you love that? They're responsible too. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, I have my number 10 here. I wanted to use that for this. That's better. This is one of my favorite mark making designs, I guess you might say. I don't know. It's just one of my favorite marks. These, like a string of beads, sort of. It's just kind of a fun, and you can play with how close they are, how far away they are. How thick or how thin, how big your bead images are. Hey Laura, hey Julie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Carrie, hey Karen. Right, so you can just continue to, so think about that too. Think about the size of your mark making, right? So we could do, so this was with my plastic nib, which is like between a 3 and a 5. But look at, if I did, this is my number 10, right? It changes the whole vibe, right? So just know that you can, and then you can write notes to yourself. So you can say, micron 10, micron plastic nib, right? So you know what you used. So when you go back to, when you come back to it as a reference file, you'll know where you were. So another one I like to do is just kind of these dashes. Just kind of random, right? And then we can do dashes this way. Hey, Catherine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right? You could do, I mean, it's seriously, the sky is the limit, right? You could do wavy lines with a thick pen, and then a wavy line with a thin pen. You can just keep growing and growing and growing your reference file, because then as you're creating, you're going to start to see opportunities for each of those. Good morning, Lynn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are filling pages in our art journal with mark making for our mark making catalog. Right? So just note, so I have, oh, I didn't do anything up here, but I have these pages like started, right? You can just start it and then fill it in. Like I said, when you're watching TV, when you're listening to music, when you're waiting in the car. I mean, how easy is it to take this pen and this book? You can, right? And now I have 2 more pages full of stripes that I can fill with mark making. Just, and you will, I'm telling you, once, now that it's in your consciousness, you're going to start to see it everywhere. You'll just see, I don't know, you'll see things that will just inspire you just in front of you, right? So it could be as simple as a paperclip, right? A paperclip could be inspiring, right? Let me find one, right? Maybe we do something with that shape. Something about that just kind of speaks to us, right? So we could do just this, and then opposite, right? It could be a series of dots. It could be anything. It could be, right? I promise it'll just start to come to you. So leave yourself some blanks. Paint that second set of stripes to have a second set of mark making. I'm telling you, you'll see the pattern on the bottom of the colander. You'll see if you're going on a walk and you see something cool, take a picture of it with your phone, because you'll be able to utilize that in some kind of way to make a mark, right? Like I was thinking about, hey, oh, there is, I know. The only thing more frustrating than computer issues is car issues, because I can't solve in either one of those, and that is a frustration. So how about some scallops? That's kind of fun, and just random wonky scallops, right? Me too, Allison. Or sometimes I'm like, what was the thing that I loved about this? Leaf? This rock formation? Then it comes back to you. I mean, I think that's the beauty of smartphones today, that we can take a picture of a phrase or a type font or, I don't know, anything, right? So just know that you can just fill these up with mark making. Oh my goodness, everybody take a drink. Fill up your mark making catalog and just kind of be on the lookout for things that will inspire you, things that are just in your world, that you can use those images as mark making fodder, right? Oh, also next week, so this Thursday in Pop-In Paint Party, we will be doing some card building and some painting. Next week, we have brand new art printable that will be available on Tuesday, I believe. Well, Linda, you can always watch on the, I just thought, you can always watch on the replay. But computer issues are frustrating. That's true. So, how's everyone feeling? Are you feeling inspired? Shut up, Vicky. That's awesome, 12. Keep going, keep going. And I'm not saying you're going to use every single one in every single creation that you make, but you've got them, right? You've got them right here with you. And these are just our pen mark making images, right? We will have, like, we'll have other things that we'll start to do. We'll have other tools that we will use for mark making in the future. But for now, we're just going to use our pen and some watercolor. Oh, golly, Vicky. Good luck. We will be thinking about you and your eye surgery. If not, you know what? You can always, always, always watch us on the replay. Absolutely, Peggy. Very Zentangle-ish. Yes, 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 yes. So, how are we doing on time, Keels? Where am I? So I hope that you're inspired to continue to grow your mark making catalog. Hey, Sarah, how are you? And just know that my stripe pages are in totally different parts of my book. It would drive you batty. It would drive you batty, Tam. You know, everything in my life is random. Not really, but you know, it appears so. So here's the first one I started, and the second one is way here. I love everybody's Paul Cézanne apples from our artist study series. I can't wait to share next month's artist with everyone. I'm loving everyone's marker scribble pages and subsequent doodles on top, and then filling it in, and then watching it come to oh, that's a great idea, Keely. Please, everyone, share your pages. I've been trying to share pages as I go along. I will take pictures of these my mark making catalog. And I think I posted this one. There you go. There you go, Carol. I'm telling you, somebody said, my friend Lynn was saying, I have very limited supplies, so I haven't been able to take classes. And I said, you can make, you can make art with a napkin and a ballpoint pen. I have been known to do it. If you just have that urge, believe me, there'll be something, an envelope, a receipt, a little crazy notepad in a hotel. I've used those. I've filled whole notepads from the hotel and that hotel ink pen with whatever I was kind of feeling like creating. Like sometimes you just got to get it out of your system. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so just think about, so remember we've talked about once you, so if you've learned Zentangle and you do it a lot, I mean, you can't just learn something one time and do it once, right? You need to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it so that it just becomes part of you. So if you started Zentangle, then I bet you did it a lot. So that's part of that's in your artsy arsenal in your noggin already, right? So now you can call upon that, right? You can use a lot of those images in your mark making. One time Keely and I were staying at a hotel, and we both took a picture of the rug in the hallway because we were like, that's a perfect Zentangle. So just know it's everywhere. It could be on the side of a cracker box. Whatever it is. If it's on the side of a cracker box, then when you're done with that cracker box, just tear off that piece and put it in your reference file. Get yourself a little, like an old recipe box or a expandable folder so you can save those bits and pieces. You will have yourself a time. Well, I guess by the clock on the wall, it says that Anne has blabbed a little too long, like always. Anyway, I hope that you're all super inspired to continue mark making and creating your own marks and just playing with it. Remember that your art journal is the place to play with and to explore new ideas. I adore you all, and I will see you. Tomorrow is Stitch Along from 9 to about 9:30. If you want to just stitch and chat. And then Thursday, remember, we're going to do some card making and some painting. I adore you all. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.